Welcome back to Beer There Drunk That. We ate our vegetables this week, guys.
It's the only time you'll catch me doing that this whole year.
No, you had that carrot cake beer the other day. That counts too.
And the sweet potato one.
And the sweet potato. You're on a roll, dude.
I am in the peak physical shape of my life right
What
now.
it's spring training every year for baseball. Dude's in the best shape of his life coming into camp this year.
I've been drinking so many vegetables.
I mean, you got to get them in one way or another, right?
Yeah, they're not getting it in solid form. Tell you what.
And they're not coming out solid either.
Oh, hey, that's like the fourth podcast in a row we've been talking about.
We're just trying to keep it rolling. We got to make sure we hit diarrhea every episode.
Within the
Ugh.
first 5 minutes.
Sorry, family and friends. But not really. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
sorry.
what are you guys drinking?
I have from our friends at KCBC, Kings County Brewers Collective. This is called Moon Metal. It's a cream ale. The
Ooh,
can's just kind of
Ooh.
sick.
I love
Yeah.
cream ales. I got a leftover pumpkin beer from when I bought some at Total Wine the other day. So this is from Vintage Brewing. I didn't review this for the pod. Pumpkin Disorderly.
Oh, nice. That's
Oh, I like
awesome.
that. That's a fun
Yeah.
play on words,
Yeah.
as far as my research tells me.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking water because I have to be good.
Yeah, I think water sounds like a good idea eventually. I'll get there eventually.
I had a glass before this.
Hydrate or dihydrate?
Yeah. And I'm trying to die.
Plancha.
I already cracked mine. Sorry. Prost.
I'm just gonna smash my glass on the ground instead. It'll
Wait,
be
you
fine.
hear something?
What?
So I was at a wedding this weekend in Boston, but so I wasn't in Hoboken, but our friend Bridget from RIT is actually visiting us right now. And so her and Caitlin went out to a bar right by us called Finnegan's, which is I like Finnegan's a lot. And so James, who actually has made an appearance on this podcast once before,
Our
quite
good friend
intoxicated,
James.
our
Yeah.
good friend James.
James.
He walked in and met them after the Yankees game. Go Dodgers, by the way.
I was gonna
Um,
say he was probably pissed.
he was pissed and piss drunk. He was fucking hammered. Yeah, so he was, doing his normal drunk thing, unaware of a lot going on. And then, from what Caitlin told me, he, was getting fired up. He's like, you know what, the Yankees, like, they're gonna go to the Bronx. They're gonna win three in a row. They're gonna have the momentum. Like, that's what we're doing. Damn it! And then he slams his fist down on the table. So just slams the table. The Guinness glass, his Guinness glass that is like sitting on the table, explodes, like actually shatters.
Holy crap! Oh my
Shatters,
God!
shatters.
I thought those things
And
were
then
bulletproof.
I thought so too. Shatters. And then the girls' drinks start to spill. And so it's just like slow motion drinks coming down towards them, all because James was just being drunk and smashed the table.
Because the Yankees suck.
Because the Yankees suck. Yeah, Yankees
This is
suck.
don't let your kids be Yankees fans.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've thought about that though. Like I
You've thought about stopping your kids from being Yankees fans?
yes, often.
It's
No,
conversion therapy.
because you were yeah, exactly. As you were talking about smashing your glass, that was one thing I feel like it'd be fun if we just made glasses that you could do that with, that you could like you're done with your drink and then it's compostable, but it shatters. So you can just like spike the hell out of it
Like
and then
really like
and then
good
it,
for
and
the
then it
earth.
yeah,
Sugar
exactly. And then
glass.
it's recyclable.
Well, you could be like Keegan, and we leave Caverly's with glasses that we liked, and then we walk
No.
down the street, and then you trip and just smash your glass that you were. It's like we were so proud to have gotten out of the bar with the glasses, and it was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it just smashes all your
We
hopes and dreams, and then Colin falls through ice. You and him walk out on the
Yeah,
pond.
yeah, that was dumb.
My God.
That was dumb.
I
The f-
we my glass smashing story was we went to the beer gardens around here at the parks in the summer. was this last summer? And you can bring your own pint glass and you get cheaper refills. And my buddy just straight up dropped his on the street and it shattered. Just like walking down the street, it just fell out of his hand. And I'm like, we didn't even have beer.
Ooh, I had to. I have a great like. It doesn't involve smashing the glass, but it could have been really bad. And it was over at Tracy B's in their greenhouse. Alan, our friend Alan, is a tall guy, very tall,
I call him
and
Tall
so he
Allen.
we call him Tall Alan. But but so he was carrying a full glass of beer, like he had just taken maybe one sip out of it, and he hit his head on a hanging fern plant. And
Oh.
for some reason, like his instinct was to just let go of the glass of beer. And I somehow, like, I was standing right in front of him. I had a hand open because I had been, like, motioning with my hands. And I caught it perfectly in my hand.
And then you drank
Spilled,
the whole
a
thing.
oh yeah, it was mine by rights. That's the legal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the athletic feat you're most proud of in your life?
That's maybe the only athletic thing in my life.
Because I mean, those reflexes, that's pretty impressive, Luke.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
where
Luke
was
sees
that
beer
Especially
when
in
I played
danger,
lacrosse?
it's like you hear the stories of like moms lifting up cars off their babies.
yeah.
Luke just becomes superhuman when there's beer at risk.
Yeah.
That's so true, though.
To chase a
Now I
case of
think
Jetty
about.
Cream trapped in a car that's on fire. And then he
and
dives through it. It comes out with 31 cans somehow.
Yeah, he had one in his pocket, so he had to
Yeah.
make sure he put it
I'm running away from the car fire with them. Like I'm
Yeah.
not even returning them to their rightful owners.
in. Well, like
Squatters'
you said, I
rights.
mean, you saved it. Yeah, it's a more noble version of squatters' rights. You saved it, you keep it.
Yeah, I did my job.
Oh, all right. So on to the pumpkin beers, because that's what we did this week.
We did drink
Um,
those.
yeah, we did drink pumpkin beers.
I'll be honest with you
Is that?
guys. I
Oh
drank
no.
both of mine like a half hour ago.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I
In
drank
case you didn't know, Luke
both of mine a
is
week ago.
I drank one today and then one a
Uh,
week ago. In case you didn't know, Luke is actively trying to take down the democracy of the United States of America. So he's
That's
been
right.
pretty busy around election time.
You bet. You
So it
bet.
sounds
I've been a
sounds
busy
like you
man.
needed a beer today.
Oh my God, dude. My beers were so freaking good.
Mine
It
too.
really sucks that I'm trying to be I'm trying to be good getting through this stint at work here because oh my God, I would be feeling amazing right now if I was able to finish both of them. And I have the other halves, so we'll see what happens. But do either you want to go first?
I'll start. Sure. So I'll start with the one that actually I just had because I mean it was a good beer, but I like the other one a little bit more. So I had the Brooklyn Brewery, the Post Road Pumpkin Ale, which I actually didn't know that they did a pumpkin at Brooklyn Brewery. I've just never seen it around.
Hmm.
Um, but I liked it a lot. I got it on tap at the ale house down the road from me. Um, Super light bodied, very smooth. It was a little more of that like pumpkin spice, I think, than a true pumpkin. So I gave it a 4. I thought it was still a really good beer. But I think that pumpkin spice versus like that true pumpkin flavor, um, brought it down to like a 4 versus like a 4.25. Um, However, like it wasn't the pumpkin spice wasn't overwhelming to the point where it like totally ruins the beer kind of thing. It was just like I think we've talked about it before. I know we have actually. Is I prefer that more natural pumpkin to the spice.
I'm the same way. I like the squash.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I
Not
gave it a
me.
4. I thought it was pretty good.
How many locations of Brooklyn Brewery are there?
That's
Like
a great question.
are there a
I have no
million?
idea.
Like are they just kind of like a little bit everywhere?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I looked them up. for like
Yeah, I
our
could look
very
this up.
first episode. No, 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 for our very first episode, I did some research on them, and I honestly like don't remember. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. Maybe that'll be the question of the week, and whoever comes back with the answer wins nothing.
Yeah, gratitude.
Oh, that
Exactly.
reminds me. Recently, I can't remember who I was talking to, but recently somebody goes, yeah, so you guys asked the question of the week at the end of each episode, but then you never reference them again. I'm like, yeah, we leave it up to the imagination, like a good
Exactly.
Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's supposed to get people's minds working.
We're
Oh
just
yeah,
engagement farming.
exactly.
I
We're no
mean,
good crooks.
we're not very good farmers either. So
Mm. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say, speak for yourself. I had a good potato harvest this year.
Bountiful.
Bountiful, yes, quite.
Um, I will say, Keegan, I'm glad you did that one because every time I see a beer from like Brooklyn Brewery when I'm like shopping for beers, I'm like, oh, like I could get that one. But Keegan will probably have it at some point on the podcast because he lives near there. So
I
I leave
Yeah,
it
appreciate
there.
that
that.
So I
that's
did
part
see
of your
that one.
territory.
Yeah, I saw that one and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then like Sophie's like, oh, you should get it. And I'm like, Keegan's probably gonna drink it. And sure
I
enough, he
definitely
did.
like. I would recommend it. I think it could be
Okay.
a good beer to have in the fridge for sure.
Yeah,
And we're
I
like
like
rival gangs. Like you
yeah,
don't want to encroach on
the
each other's
cheeseheads and
Yeah, their
the
territory.
turf.
apples. It's like the Sharks and the Jets.
Yeah,
Uh,
wait, Luke, are we the same gang then? Because we're in New York both?
You
Actually, I'm
don't
in
there's
live in New
Jersey
York.
there's
You
now.
don't live in New York, Keegan.
yeah, you're a
What are
totally
you, the
different
Jets?
state now. Stick to your own state. I'm expanding my territory. Your time at Brooklyn Brewery ends
Is
tonight.
Hmm.
over.
I don't think my mic picked up me snapping, but I was doing it like a gang member.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite things about doing this podcast on Zoom is when like we can see each other trying to do sound effects or things like that, but the mic gets nothing. And so it's just silence. I think that's one of my favorite things ever.
That's what we gotta. At some point, we should just start editing, like editing stuff in.
That's more
But
work
like
for me.
incorrect
Yeah,
noises
true.
though.
No, I get what you mean
Like
though.
Donnie was trying to snap and it's just a car horn every time.
I'm trying to click with my tongue now too, emulating snapping.
Oh, Donnie, what'd you have for your one of your pumpkin beers?
So this is I'm doing the same thing as you. This is the one I liked a little bit less. Um, I know we've all had, I'll say the brother beer to this, but I hadn't had this one. I got Warlock from Southern Tier, which is their pumpkin stout,
Oh, wow.
which related to their Pumpking, very good beer, which I saw this year too. They didn't have singles of it, otherwise I would have drank it. They have caramel pumpkin now.
Oh,
Oh, that
I
sounds
almost
so
grabbed that
good.
It
the
looks
other day.
good. I didn't see singles of it. Maybe I'll buy a 4 pack of it. But this is an 8.6% stout. Um, and I thought this was great. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It like to me, this is one of those approachable stouts because like sometimes with a pumpkin beer, it can kind of feel a little thin and like I'll say one note sometimes. The
Yeah,
stout body of this really propped it up and made it like a very well-rounded beer because you did get those classic like little bit of stout bitterness, but then the sweetness of the pumpkin came through and just a touch of spice in there to kind of like blend it together. I would said that this was a super approachable stout, like something that you could hand someone who doesn't really like dark beers and they would like it, and they probably also wouldn't know that it's 8.5% ABV.
so
You could just sneaky like fuck them up, yeah.
Yeah, Trojan horse it.
so would you say that the pumpkin in it, because you say it's an approachable stout, but would you say that the pumpkin is more of an invitation for people, or would be less of an invitation overall?
I would say more. I would say, especially if you're someone who likes things a little more like sweet and fruity-ish almost. Like
True.
if you like, like a pumpkin donut or whatever or something like that, like I think that would be a good pairing almost, or like a good a good comp of like the type of flavor that you're getting there.
Yeah.
That with some coffee would probably make it pretty close to the stout, actually. But it was a super good beer. I would like I I hadn't like I'd seen it before, but I'd never had it. And like I've had Pumpkin before. Um, but this was really good. I would argue that this is better than Pumpkin.
Cool.
Wow.
Holy cow,
Yeah.
I gotta try
I'm
that.
gonna I'm gonna have to try that caramel pumpkin too. That sounds
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah, I think that's new this year.
Southern Tiers is just they do a great job. I like Southern Tier a lot.
I
They
like
do.
I like their stuff when I can find it out here. It's always like it's usually like their special beers that I can find. I can't find like maybe I can find like a variety pack of them at Total Wine. I'll look for that next time because I do want the Juice Jolts, the two X's, Keegan.
Oh
You
baby.
got me thinking about those sometimes.
Oh, fire me up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so I visited, and by visited in I mean in bottle form, Kentucky Brewing, and this was their pumpkin barrel ale.
Mm.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. So I give it a 4.5 rating. Fantastic. There's a reason why they call this brewery the beer of Bourbon County. Um, it captures all of that. I've had a number of beers from them. Um, all of them are super super good. Of course, I'm a bit of a hussy for a good barrel aged ale. But this beer had a deep, like I described it as having a deep, strong flavor that made me think of I said a shallow glass of whiskey in a cup that held pumpkin seeds.
That's dude, we're back. I feel like we haven't had one of those like classic Luke descriptions in a while.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
that
one.
is amazing.
What was cool about this beer is like when I first smelled it, I was like, okay, yeah, this smells kind of like whiskey. Like it smells a little bit like the Pumpking whiskey that's out there, if you guys have had it. But uh, but yeah, the nose completely advertised the taste accurately. Um, this this did not feature spices. It did not have to hide behind that. Although I do prefer more spice than natural pumpkin flavor. But this wasn't like artificial pumpkin. This was very good. I still have a little bit of it in here, and I'm talking about it and going to probably finish it right now.
No, the whiskey barrel definitely, like the bourbon barrel, definitely, I think, made like fills in the gap that like normally adding spices would there. The
Yeah.
thing that amazes me too is because they produce a lot of those beers, and they all have like a good bourbon flavor to it, while
Well,
also
didn't
having like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Donnie, was it you or Luke? Was it you that had one from Kentucky Brewing before, or was there a different one?
We both drank one in the same week. You had the
That's right.
vanilla cream, right?
I had the
And then
vanilla.
I
Yeah.
had the tangerine.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All of them sound good. I would say I'm also not a saint when it comes to what I do for some barrel aged stouts and beers.
They're like I do like them. I've gotten more into them this year. To me, it's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then I'm like, oh, I should drink this over the course of multiple hours, and I just have to like dedicate myself to this. Because unlike whiskey, I'm drinking 16 ounces of this instead of 2 to 4.
Yeah, so if you have commitment issues, especially with whiskey, maybe go slow first.
Yeah.
Try a
Yeah.
flight first.
Yeah, I wouldn't branch out with this beer. I like
I'm
this is
thinking I'm
not
gonna
a
add this one
bridge.
to my rotation. No, and I like them all. It's just one of those things. I'm like, oh, I guess this is my afternoon now. 1 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah, well this is a 10 percenter too, so
It's strong.
yeah, it was sitting pretty. And by was I mean am now.
Currently getting prettier.
Well, you're always pretty to me, Luke.
Oh, you're just you're just wonderful.
Yeah.
That was super wholesome.
I'm gonna talk about more wholesome things right now. because I needed to indulge you guys on my grilled cheese and beer flight
Oh
that we did
Oh
the
yeah.
other night.
yeah.
We haven't talked to you since.
Yeah. So shout out to Don and Kathy for getting us tickets for this. So we each Don and Kathy split one, and Sophie and I split one. And the way it went was it was like at Oak Brewing, which is in Milwaukee, and then they have like food trucks that rotate in and out there, and one of them is a grilled cheese place. And so they did a pairing night. So going down the line from the picture that I posted, the first one was like a jalapeno popper grilled cheese with I think it was a lager brewed with habanero peppers.
Mm.
Next one was a like there it says other Pilsner, so it's not a specific Pilsner, it's just kind of Pilsnerish. But it was like bratwurst and mustard in there.
Oh.
And then it was a Munich Dunkel with barbecue chicken, the
Ooh,
third
that
one.
sounds my style.
And then the last one was like truffle and like chive and goat cheese and a pumpkin beer actually. Um
There you go.
And so that wasn't the one you reviewed?
no, well, because I had already picked these out and I was also getting a little tiny
Oh,
taster of it.
gotcha.
Um, but it was a cool concept. Like both the jalapeno popper and the truffle goat cheese one had goat cheese in it, which I don't love goat cheese as a whole. Um, but I liked all the beers. Like I really like Ope. I like that's a place I'm definitely gonna take you guys when you come out here. I thought it was a cool concept, but like there's a lot going in on your stomach. Like not only drinking a spicy beer and a grilled cheese, but also three other grilled cheeses and three other different beers.
So let me ask you, you said it was jalapeno or habanero?
It was a jalapeno popper grilled cheese with habanero pepper beer.
Okay. So was the beer like I don't know, it was just kind of like a spicy marg kind of flavor to it, or did it have like some
It was
smokiness or
a
anything like that?
it was just spicy beer.
Oh,
Like it was like let me read the description. No, it's an IPA. Actually, I lied. Um what happens when you take a white IPA and add 150 red habanero peppers? Well, you get a beer with a bright citrusy start that leaves just a tickle of heat on the finish, practically begging you to come back for more. Forget all about the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heater. What is this, Major League? No. It was like it was a very like I didn't realize that beer was 7%. That's crazy. That like it felt like a light like lager or ale with like it had the spicy flavor, but not the like heat. You know, I was getting the heat from the jalapenos in the sandwich I was eating.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dude, I just remember before I liked spice at all, spicy beer was like the one type of beer that I could not imagine trying.
Hmm.
I had to be swindled into trying it. So Matt tricked me.
I still don't love like when it actively leaves my mouth and it is spicy, I don't like that. But I like the flavors of things in that, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Especially like I wish I could have sent you guys that spicy smoked beer I had at Torzala because like just to see your reactions because like I could not drink more than a taster glass of it in a flight.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine having just a picture of that, dude?
Well, I think Sophie's dad has made the mistake multiple times of just ordering a glass of it
Oh
and
God.
being
And then
fun
stuck
there.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I
like I'm still not great with spice, you know. I like the flavor. My tolerance is not great.
I don't know. I think there's something disappointing when because to me, if it's leaving your mouth spicy, like the reason I'm having a beer, I mean, aside from the fact that I enjoy beer, is because I want it to be like somewhat refreshing. And
Oh
so
yeah.
like when it's leaving your mouth and it's not, I don't love that. For the same reason that I don't like dry wines, for the exact same reason as like I have to drink water with the wine.
Hmm.
And it's like, what's the point of this? I don't drink something to get dry. I drink something to get hydrated, right? So
That's respectable, Keegan.
I don't know. That's my approach to spicy beer, spicy drinks in general. I
Do
want
you
to
like
I want to be
spicy margs?
refreshed. Um, Not really. Nope. I don't love, was it tahini seasoning?
Tahini on the rim?
Not a big tahini guy in general. I like a regular marg. I'll go for it. I like to get exotic with like flavors, mango, pineapple, whatever you want to mix in there. I'll give it a shot. But yeah,
Dude,
I don't know. Something about the spice I can't do.
the concept of a rim with something spicy repulses me. I don't know why it is. I cannot get around that. Like I'm not even overly opposed to it anymore. Like I am a lot more open-minded when it comes to food and certainly drinking. But yeah, I can't.
I
There was a so again, I was in the wedding. It was in Newburyport. So we actually ended up going to Riverwalk Brewing right before the rehearsal dinner, which actually was really good. They had good food and some good beers. So one of the ones that I had, so I had two beers there. The first one was called Storm Door. It was like this porter. It was really good, honestly. Like a lot of vanilla, a lot of like cinnamon sweetness, without as much of like maybe that bitterness that you might expect to start to have with those porters. My sister Maddie, who is not generally a dark beer person, really enjoyed it. So I think it'd be a good transitional beer. But yeah, that was good. And then the other one, which I almost reviewed for the podcast, they had, oh, what they call it? I don't know. It was a pumpkin ale, but it had cinnamon sugar around the rim,
oh,
Mm.
and I was
like
like, mm,
that's me getting a
just doing it
shipyard
for me.
pumpkin head back home is like that. It's so good, man.
It's so good, and like the beer was fine. Like it was a pretty standard kind of pumpkin ale. I didn't think anything was like too crazy about it, but like just when you get the cinnamon sugar in your mouth at the same time, yeah, I think it makes the beer that much better.
Oh,
Um,
totally.
so it just kind of, yeah, it definitely elevated the beer above. It helped the beer outkick its coverage, I think.
Dude, yeah, presentation bumps stuff up quite a bit.
I think like having a rim on a beer like that, like a marg or something, would real like is an underutilized thing at breweries.
I agree.
Because like I said, I've had that cinnamon sugar rim on a Shipyard Pumpkinhead before, because one of the breweries in my hometown is owned by the same people, so they always have Shipyard Pumpkinhead there. It's just fantastic, man. Like that's like when Sophie and I went there, I was like, all right, Sophie, this is our dessert. We're splitting it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I think there's it's a lot of ways to elevate a beer, but then you can also add another dimension to the beer. So I don't know. Maybe that's another thing we're to work on once we eventually open BTDT Brewing, and then we can start to get
Well,
some. I don't want to call them rim jobs, but like that kind of idea.
if Luke's the taproom manager, it's going to be called a rim job. Because
You're
I figure
damn right.
that's how it's going to be. It's like I'll manage like brewery operations and the that sort of shit. Luke will be taproom manager. You'll be like lead marketing and shit like that, Keegan.
I'll
Keegan will
just
be
fucking pour
drunk in the
beers.
Yeah,
gutter.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Keegan will be the official taste tester,
Yeah,
which
that's what
just
I'm at.
means I drink the beer. I don't actually make any decisions.
That's a You've decided to drink, and that's all that matters. We're gonna take a
uh,
break now. Welcome back to our friends, to our listeners, to our hosts, to Gandalf. Gandalf's here.
Gandalf.
Gandalf,
You can't see him, he's hiding, but he is on my desk right now.
He's
you shall not
Gandalf the
pass.
screen. I'm glad I'm glad you talked through my really bad joke
Yep,
there.
that's why I did it. That's why I did it. I
You
knew
knew.
what was
You
coming.
knew. I'm not working
Many
with
brain
too
cells
much
right now.
gas in the tank,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
catch my drift.
absolutely.
Well, what are you fueling the car with, Luke?
Well, I'm fueling the car with what's left of my second tasting beer. Which which I can't bring to the screen right now because we haven't covered it quite yet. Oh, what are you drinking? That looks dark.
I cracked open. I wanted a little dessert before bed. Founder's oatmeal stout.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Founders.
Yeah, I got the fall variety pack, man. Like, I was just feeling like there was a little bit of everything in there. You guys know me. I like to buy single cans, but every so often, I'm like, we'll get a variety pack and
Go
have some
crazy.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Get
you
all
guys
frisky.
have you guys had that pack? Like, have you had what's in it?
No.
I don't
Because
think so.
so it's this oatmeal stout, vanilla porter. There's their winter bock, like a winter lager, and then there is a coffee blonde ale,
Oh.
which tastes like you're drinking black coffee to me because it is like thin, like a blonde ale usually is, and then it just tastes like bitter coffee. It's it's a weird beer for me. It's pretty good. But I didn't really know what to expect because it's really light, but it tastes dark.
Cool.
I feel like that would mess with my head to like have that contrast come in.
It was fucking with me. It took me a while to drink it because of that. I was like, am I okay?
Am I having a stroke right now?
Am I all of a sudden I'm smelling burnt toast in the beer?
Damn it, I left my toaster on again.
Um, do you guys mind if I start with my
I was
my
gonna
second
segue
taste
to
of beer?
that.
Absolutely.
Well, so I know nobody's shocked, but I'm going with another Warhorse Brewing beer. But this is from scratch pumpkin pie stout.
Oh, it's got a picture of you on the can.
Yeah, that's a nice young
That's
lady,
me.
actually.
Mm.
That's I mean, very old. It's a very old picture. So yeah, that could be me. With with cinnamon, allspice, and vanilla. All
Whoa.
right, that's what
Oh.
was being explained. Um, this was dessert in a can. You talk about dessert in a can, Donnie, but this absolutely hit on that. Um, Creamy, rich, very filling flavor. Ow, weird head pain. Not that. Well, sorry, that wasn't in the
Luke is
beer.
actually having a stroke now.
This was such a fun beer. I mean, through and through. Um, the ideal, I would say it's like the ideal cold weather beverage because this warmed me up a little bit despite only being 6.8%. And not, not boozy like you get out of that first beer that I tried. But I got mostly vanilla and allspice, not so much of the cinnamon that came through, but it was just like such an inviting smoothness. I liked it a lot. It's I gave it a 4.5 as well. It was so enjoyable. So both my beers tonight, 4.5.
Add it up,
Um,
call that a nine.
So
not
you're
according
a
to
pretty
my
good,
math.
and that's why he's taking down democracy, folks.
You bet.
You had a pretty good week for beers then, huh, Luke?
I had a great week. I'm just sorry that I kept it waiting so long.
I know. I was.
You work in politics and it's election season, man. I don't
Yeah.
wish that on anyone.
Yeah, it's
I do. I wish on
crazy
Luke.
stuff. Yeah, I
Dude,
bet you do. You all right. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sorry to lose my cool a little bit there, but we regrouped.
no,
We
dude, was
regrouped.
like because early voting is going on right now here, and Wisconsin's officially designated as a swing state now. So it has to be like actual election officials. It can't just be like volunteers working the polling places.
It can't just be a flip of a coin like every other state.
No, it like literally though, but it's like so they have only like two or three people working at each polling site, and there's just lines everywhere. It took Sophie's mom almost 2 hours to vote the other day.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I submitted my ballot absentee already because I didn't know like there wasn't information on when early voting was going to happen on the Wisconsin voting website. And I'm like, I don't trust this, and I might have to be at a work conference all day in Chicago on the 5th. So I'd like to get my vote in assuredly.
It was very responsible of you, Donald.
I submitted the ballot as soon
Um,
as I could.
There you go.
My absentee ballot is still sitting in the envelope on my thing that I have to turn it in tomorrow to get mailed back. So
Oh my God, no, dude, tomorrow. Send it in for God's
Yeah,
sake.
get it in
yeah,
as
I
soon as you
know.
can.
Yeah, I know.
I did put
Okay.
mine in like an absentee ballot drop box at a polling place, which is across the street from my house.
Keegan, how long ago did I set you up with that?
I've been busy.
Okay. Not me. I've been just sitting on my ass doing.
That's what government is, right?
I've been waiting for your name to come through and it never came through. But
And so I can burn it.
Luke.
yeah,
No,
they're
I feel
like,
like God.
no, I was gonna say they're like, hey Luke, can you help with this? No, I'm waiting for my friend.
Luke, we have thousands of other ballots to go through. No, there's one I'm waiting on. I gotta make sure.
Yeah, I need to confirm it. He actually needs me to sign it as the witness.
Yeah. No, I feel like you guys know the St. Patty's Day episode of Always Sunny when
Yes.
Charlie walks in and he's like, I got paint and I got snakes. And Mac is like, Charlie, you can't drink beer or you can't drink paint. And he goes, yeah, I know, of course. I hear you. And Mac's like, you say you're hearing me. I don't think you're actually hearing me. And that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm Charlie in this situation as Luke
You
is like
absolutely are. Like, hey,
helping.
Keegan, if you want to vote, man, you gotta like, I don't know, get
Do
it
it.
in. You
Yeah.
gotta
Well,
like,
they said it has to be post or like whatever mail stamped like a week before. So
Yeah,
that's
and
that's
you're the
fine.
reason why it takes a week and a half to confirm the election.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm
And
making
then
sure
there's
that
the
my
recount.
voice. I'm
dude,
making sure
if
that my
We're
voice
gonna
is.
have
it,
recounts, damn it.
if I see your ballot, I'm mailing it right back to you. I think that would be so funny.
Try it again.
Return to sender. Not enough postage.
Uh,
Well, actually, I mean, I actually write in the names of all of the master brewers of the Brooklyn Brewery. So
there
do
you
with that
go.
what you will.
It's,
So
while we're on the topic of politics, my friend was, it must have been last night. He was like out, he lives in Delaware now. He met Vermin Supreme on the streets.
No
no way, that
way.
guy's still alive.
Yeah, he was handing out stickers.
Boot on his head and all.
Yes.
That's
Oh
so
my
sick.
Like he was just
God.
out for Halloween, like him and his girlfriend and some friends, and they just fucking ran into Vermin Supreme on the streets of Delaware.
He is my hero.
New Hampshire legend, Vermin Supreme, man.
He is what politics should be.
Absolutely. For those of you who don't know who Vermin Supreme is, I implore you to please look him up on the internet. Just look at pictures. He is an old guy, big beard, long hair,
Giant
wearing
boot
a
on his head.
boot on his head, a giant rain boot.
He
And
like
if you don't want to do that, you can catch Luke's seminar in the RIT College of Liberal Arts. He's teaching a course for the political science program on
called
Vermin
Vermin
Supreme.
Supremacy. No, like he to me epitomizes like he's just been running this bit for so many fucking years and it's awesome.
He's
Like
committed to it.
he is what they need like to be like a reality check of like the American political system. Like, are you guys aware of there's a guy running for Senate in Hawaii whose name is Shelby Pikachu Billionaire?
Stop it.
Because fun fact, you don't need to put your legal name on the ballot.
What?
You don't need to put your legal, you it is not required for your legal name to be on the ballot. Right, Luke?
I don't know if that's how it works in New York State, but that's hilarious.
This guy is running for Hawaii. He's just like a pro Hawaii guy. But his name is Shelby Pikachu Billionaire. He's got a really good TikTok account. Check him out.
Dude, I think the best thing to come out of American politics was the race for governor of New York State. I maybe back in maybe I want to say like 92 or something. It was back then. And you had like I'm trying to think of all the candidates, but you had like I think Andrew Cuomo, You had a former prostitute. You had that guy with the mutton chops, that black guy with the mutton
Oh,
chops.
the too damn
Who,
high guy.
yeah, the rent is too damn high.
Yeah.
But you just had like some classic characters in that. I'm like, this is what it needs to be.
I like
It
there was that
has to.
one year Vermin Supreme was doing like pretty good in the primaries and like he was like at like the debates and shit. And I remember he was like, I'm now going to make Rand Paul gay and like covered him with glitter.
Yeah, I remember that. He also one of his campaign promises, Rand Paul. No, I'm just kidding. No,
And
one of Vermin Supreme's um campaign promises is free ponies for everybody.
how else are you gonna get around?
Exactly. He's a man ahead and behind and in the middle of his times.
And
Dude,
he is just time.
he's he's my idol. Like,
I mean,
but
you're not going to get a DUI on a horse, right?
Mm.
it's an HUI.
And exactly.
It's like getting a DUI on a boat. It's a BUI.
Horsing, wait,
Horsing under the influence.
horsing under the influence.
Sometimes that happens when we go, what was it? When we lizard wrestle?
Oh, I forgot about lizard wrestling. Oh my God, that
Where
shit was
did
the
that come
best.
from? This is something we used to do in college.
Yeah, it was one of the guests on Spittin' Chicklets, the Spittin' Chicklets
Oh,
podcast. They were talking about lizard wrestling, and I was like, that sounds fucking fun. And or someone brought it up to me first. I don't know, but that was yeah, that was
the way it works is like two guys, you take your belts off and you loop them together so it's like a big long belt, and then you both get down on all fours and put the belts around the backs of your heads, and you try and pull the belt off the other, like you try and be the one with it. You try and pull away.
yeah. There
Oh
was
my
actually like
God.
several people left paralyzed from that.
Oh,
So
I'm sure. Well,
Yeah.
oh, I just remember two of the guys on our floor, freshman year of college that did the pillow dusting.
oh my
Oh my
What was it?
God. And he
God,
broke his nose.
Yeah. Yeah,
had to
he
get
broke
stitches
It
had to
happened
get
in front of my
stitches
door.
on his one
on
of
his
them.
chin. Yeah,
Eric had to get it on his chin. Nick had
yeah.
to get it where? Like over his eye.
He had like a black eye. Yeah, he
Yeah, he
was.
looked like rough for like a couple months.
Yeah, for
It happened right
context,
outside my door.
one was tall and one was, average height.
Yeah,
So
one's like
of
six
course,
four, and
one's
one's
eye
like
socket
5'10".
met the
The
chin of the other fella. So, oh my God,
No
yeah.
pillows were used to cushion the blow somehow.
Yeah,
yeah.
somehow they missed that. They were holding it over their chest as if that would be the part that would like,
Yeah,
oh my
man,
God.
we
I
should
think
go
we
back
should.
to college.
I was just gonna say, I think we should do it again.
Like,
We would die.
do you think
It's
we like it?
We
Because we
we
could re-enroll in a bachelor's program and like technically be freshmen, right?
absolutely
Like, so like if we went to somewhere like RIT, would we be legally required to like not legally, but like be required to live in dorms?
that I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you imagine? Like that'd be kind of fucked up.
No, dude, because after doing that all that time, I just imagine now I'd be like waking up the first morning of classes and just being like, I can't do this again.
It's
Just
yeah,
be like,
it's
I
midterm
can't.
season.
Why
You're
is
like,
this?
wait, I have degrees already. What am
Yeah.
I doing? Oh my gosh. I think we should do an episode where we just rank things that people get DUIs on.
Yeah, mopeds,
Yeah. Best way to get
lawnmowers.
arrested while intoxicated.
There was a Zamboni driver
I saw
in
that video.
forget where he was, Florida maybe?
Eh,
Probably Florida.
ZUI.
Yeah. He was in a kangaroo suit, hammered off his ass, and is clearing the ice. He's running along the sidewall, and then just runs straight into the end wall, like just smacks it hard in a kangaroo suit. Yeah, so he got a ZUI.
A ZUI, I love it.
Donnie, what beer would you? I know you like your second one more. What do you got in
Yeah.
store for us?
So this is from Component Brewing, right here in Milwaukee. Actually, like diagonal from where I work out most days. This is Oh My Gourd.
Oh my
And by the
God.
name, honestly, it's a little misleading, but looking at this beer, you realize it's kind of a play on Starbucks.
I was just gonna
And
say it looks like a Starbucks like
this
label.
is a
Okay.
pumpkin ale with spices, vanilla, and coffee. It's basically a pumpkin spice latte beer.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
unreal. That's
Like,
unreal.
I am not a pumpkin spice latte guy. I'm not crazy into that sort of thing, but I gave this beer 4.75 out of 5. I mean, this
Wow.
beer,
Holy crap.
like I said, this is a pumpkin spice latte in its beerest form. This delivers exactly what that is in a beer. It was a little bit creamy. Like there was a lot of good vanilla notes, like that subdued the coffee in there. Like you got the sense that there was coffee, but it didn't have that like bitterness or acidity that you get from coffee a lot of times in beers. Um, you didn't like it wasn't like so heavily spiced that you felt like you were choking down like cinnamon or cloves. Like it was just enough to round it all out. This is like I said, this was a sneaky 7%er. Like if you handed this to me like you would like one of those like canned coffees and stuff, I would drink it the same way.
Wow.
It
That
was
sounds
just
fantastic.
it was
Yeah.
so like I was so not ready for this beer to be nearly as good as it was.
I love that though. Like a knock your socks off kind of beer. It's just like,
I like when it's unexpected.
Hidden
yeah.
gem.
Yeah, that's it's a hidden gem for sure. Like I don't go like of the breweries, like Component's the one I've probably talked about on here before, but it's in a building called the Lincoln Warehouse in Milwaukee. But it's literally got three breweries in that building plus a distillery. Just in the building on top of other businesses that are there. So you can just like brewery hop and never move the car. It's really,
Oh
really
my God,
nice.
that's the dream.
And like Component is probably the one I've gone to the least in there, which is weird, considering it is accessible from the exterior of the building. But like I just never think about going there. I think about going to New Barons or Torzala first usually. Um, but I just get impressed a lot of times when I drink a beer from them.
Cool.
That's great. That's really
Yeah,
great.
I love this beer. Like like a fall recommendation for sure. Like assuming that they keep making it every year.
You're
Like
gonna
I'll
keep
be
drinking
like,
it every year?
oh yeah, I'm gonna tell all my friends about it and people I don't like.
What?
That's how you know it's a damn good beer when it's bridging enemies.
Yeah, they need to pick me up, but um, yeah, I'm glad I got it in a 16 ouncer. Like I'm
For
glad that's the
sure.
can that came in. It was so good.
That building with the breweries and the distillery sounds like you can get a lot of shit done in there.
A lot of work gets done there.
Sounds like I could avoid a lot of shit in there.
It's
Sounds great.
it's crazy though. That building like has been an incubator for so many like breweries that are like established in their own locations now in Milwaukee.
Oh,
Um,
it's like the starting nest.
yeah, like it's just it's like probably relatively cheap space, and like if you know people turned it into a brewery at one point, you're like, yeah, I could probably do that myself. Um, so it's a good spot. Like that's the place. Like I've got my list, like my running total of like, all right, like what time in the day do we have to start drinking at so that way we can hit everything and not wake up feeling like shit the next day when you guys come.
Yeah, that has to be, I mean, that's one of the worst things is like waking up and still being drunk
Dude,
and you're like what the fuck just happened?
we went to like a Halloween gathering. Like we always say it's a pregame at my friend's place. She lives like downtown, like by a bunch of the bars. And then we always end up staying there way too late. And so like Sophie and I were like, well, she lives across the street from the barcade and we want to go play pinball later. So we're gonna like just use an excuse and leave earlier than most people and not go to the other bars with them. But like Sophie and I were already like home and asleep by the time everyone left the pregame, apparently. And we had like
Going
gone to
on?
the arcade and got pizza and we left probably 10 o'clock ish, probably. But people said that they woke up at like 3 p.m. the next day drunk still. They were like,
Holy, holy
and I
crap.
felt bad for them. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I left when I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds less than ideal. Fellas, you want me to do my next beer?
No,
Please
I
do.
think we're gonna wrap up for the night.
All
Thank you
right, we will
guys for
see you
tuning
next
in.
week, folks.
We went opposite directions, Luke. We gotta coordinate that next time. I gotta start kicking you under the paint.
Yeah, virtually, yeah, you're gonna have like a fax coming off the
Yeah.
printer, and it's gonna say kick. So my other beer that I did, it's called Master of Pumpkins. It's from Trog. I never pronounced that right. I'm gonna
I
say
think it's
Trogs.
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 Yeah.
Trogs Independent Brewing.
Yeah.
It's out of Pennsylvania. I hadn't heard of this. Caitlin actually found this beer at Wegmans for me, I think. Yeah, this was a Wegmans. Was it?
Bug
I don't know. Wherever it was. Got a 4 pack. I'm glad I did because this was a really, really good beer. I gave it a 4.25.
Hmm.
Um, I think this is definitely for me at least in the upper echelon, if we want to use fancy words, upper echelon of pumpkin beers. Really nice, like light body, but did a really great job of incorporating like that true pumpkin flavor, without doing as much of the pumpkin spice fluff, we'll say. Um, and they also, I mean, they like listed on the can, which I don't know where I put the can because it was a week ago, but um, like each spice they list, each flavor that they list, you can pick it out kind of at different points throughout the beer, which I think was really cool. Like they blend well together, but they're also pronounced enough that you truly can like notice them and almost like check it off when you get through that portion of the beer. Um, yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend this. It's not quite as I don't know, it's not quite a pumpkin spice latte beer, but it was a really 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 solid pumpkin beer. They do it like just once a year, so it's nice that I'm glad I was able to find it this time, and I think I'll probably keep an eye out for it next time the pumpkins come around.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who like kind of runs into that dilemma of like buying like a 4 or 6 pack of a beer like that you want to try for the pod. Um, because I like there's like for me, I just don't have a lot of good single can places around here. Like it just for some reason I can't find a store with it. Um, I can get enough, but it's not like an like even going to Total Wine, which has a lot, it's still like I'm kind of like scrounging sometimes to like find like cool and unique things to talk about?
Yeah,
Because I
dude,
like
that's what I miss about like being in the city is going to like city swiggers. There was like 5 different fridges just stocked full, and then on top of that, they had like warm beers that were different too. So, and the reason I would get a 4 pack is because I got 4 unique beers that I wanted to try all 4 of. So you know what I mean? So like um, like I would do one of the make your own 4 packs kind of thing,
yeah.
and that I
I
just
mean,
yeah, I'm
I,
looking
I
for a store like that still.
I'm definitely very spoiled around here having beers of the world. At one point we had AJ's,
R.I.P.
but all of the Wegmans around here will do, the craft your own 6 pack. Um, I'm very spoiled with that. But what I will say is, like Donnie, you're talking about like, you can't really find that much of a variety of like the one-offs and that. But you go to enough breweries that I feel like you are able to consistently find new different stuff
I
just through that.
I mean within a 15-minute drive of me, there's like 20 something breweries. Like, and it just like it like I do my due diligence of like I'll check tap lists and stuff like that. Like if it's like a fun or unique style, like and try and like find something for it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. We'll keep plugging away.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying.
You guys got to just start, asking around. That's what I had to do. I had to ask all my neighbors. I had to. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a
No.
ginormous place. The
I was
Beers
gonna
of the
say, dude,
World. It's
you
just
were
like.
going to Beers of the World at 13 and getting just different sodas of the world at
Well,
first.
to be fair, if I was 13 going to Beers of the World, it would have still been a Wegmans. So I was going to Beers of
Uh,
the World at 13.
I forgot about that Wegmans.
I remember the whole layout without fail.
Well, I mean, it's the same as Beers of the World. It's just beer.
It just they don't have produce now.
I do wish they would have kept the old produce area in the old Wegmans because that they had like painted fruit along the upper walls,
Mm.
like over all of the refrigerators. And something about it, it was always very inviting. It was like, do you guys remember that Caterpillar book when you were a kid? Like
The
had the
very hungry caterpillar.
yeah, the very hungry caterpillar. It was like that kind of artwork.
Hmm.
It was very comforting as a child.
I guess then
Probably very dingy and uninviting for
it,
adults, but
that's how I think about the big grocery store in New Hampshire that everyone likes. It's called Market Basket.
Oh, I
Um,
love Market Basket.
Market Basket.
yeah, it's a great place. We just got one in my hometown, but like in like this like in aisles and stuff, there's like these giant like cereal boxes and stuff and like stuff like up on like on top of the aisles. Like it's just like advertisements or whatever. But I'm like, as a kid, that seemed cool to me, and now that there's one in my hometown, and I go back, I'm like, oh, that looks stupid.
Oh, how the blinders of childhood, they just melt away.
The rose tinted glasses or the
That was what I'm looking for.
The rose blinders of glass, or I don't know. Can we? What's your question, Keegan?
yeah.
Yeah.
What have
Ask a
you
question,
got?
Keegan.
Um, my question is the best, like what's the best thing to get a DUI on?
What's the best vehicle to get a DUI on?
Yeah.
My
That's how I'm thinking
uncle's
about it. I mean,
Ram truck.
I can give some options. So like I'll put down like if we want to do multiple choice, I'm gonna list Zamboni, horse, and uh
Electric scooter.
electric scooter that flips
I
over
like
for
it.
you. All right, I like those three. Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is the best one to get a DUI on?
All
Meaning,
right, and
I think
whichever one
best as
wins.
in coolest.
We
Yeah,
all have to get a DUI.
we're all gonna get a DUI.
I will be real. I don't have a theme for the next episode. I know we've already talked about we got a busy week coming up, so we're probably gonna take a week off. And in that
Do our
time we'll
civic duty.
formulate something. Yeah, do our civic duties. Remember to vote on November 5th, please and thank you. Because I'm one of those people who I believe if you don't vote, you can't complain. Because you had a chance to make a choice and you didn't.
And if
I'm
you
still gonna
do vote,
complain because Luke fucked up my ballot, probably.
if you do vote, complain about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
This is a blank check. You can complain as much as you want, as often as you want. Look at the negatives in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes only the negatives. Focus on the negatives.
Let it
I
eat
know
you.
that's
Let
my
the anger
plan.
consume you.
And make sure to tip your
Use
poll
your
supervisors.
anger. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm
make sure you
trying
tip
to
your poll
imagine
site supervisors.
yeah. And your
just
landlord.
a voter walking up to a poll worker and going, "Here's some money." I don't see anything unethical in that. That won't raise any red flags.
When you do your if you do your absentee ballot, put some money in it too when you seal it up.
Was I not supposed to? I already did.
I put my credit card in there.
Nice.
I put my hair.